diving into the dangerous mirage of self-worth. Nat, any disclaimers for this one, or it's kind of like we could just ease into it?
Um,
What's the go?
no, there's some disclaimers for sure because this one, as always with our approach here is like we want to show you some things that are just there's no point working on this stuff. There's no point working on your self-worth. Okay, so if you're here, take a load off. The disclaimer today is I always want to hit some landmines. I want to set some people off. I want to show you some things that piss you off. I want to show you some things which feel like you're getting ripped off in certain ways because it unveils a certain truth that's better to work with. The common thing that happens when you enter the goy territory and it really hits, when it really hits, this is a common thing basically everyone says, I feel like I've been ripped off my whole life. Yeah, and the self-worth thing is going to be one of those things. People around you have told you you've got to work on it and it's this big thing, and I'm here to show you that you've kind of been ripped off. And I'm going to show you a much, much, much more direct way and a way better diagnosis of the feeling, because we as humans, we always get our feelings wrong. Our feelings and our words don't line up very well because we've never had the time and the space to actually feel and get the knowledge from the inside instead of being told, you feel this, now you feel this, and now you're not allowed to feel that. So we've generalized this feeling of I don't feel worthy, and then we've tried to work on it, but we've got the diagnosis has been completely incorrect. So today is about getting the diagnosis right on what that feeling is and then what to do from there. Because everyone's got this thing wrong. I promise you, everyone you've ever worked on, and that's my promise today, is that whenever you talk about self-worth, everyone's got it wrong. And we have it right. Cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. Anything else, VC?
I just want to ask the team for high engagement today. It's quite a smaller class as opposed to the past, so
Yeah.
please comments, feedback. Even if you're just loving it, digging it, and want more, just comment that through.
Yeah.
Keep going, enjoying it, got it, landing.
Yeah. Guys, if we got the self-worth thing right, we wouldn't be here talking about it. And if we actually got it right, then you only need to, if you nail the diagnosis, you don't need, once it's solved, it's solved. You don't need to, people spend their whole life trying to figure it out. So we're going to go through the dangers of kind of manufacturing the feeling, how like working on your self-worth actually just buries you in your own needs even deeper, makes you more isolated. It creates something called psychic repulsion. We'll go through that's a little bit of a technical one. And then you can accidentally turbocharge your worst self. Like everything that you have now of offering self-worth work, we're going to show you why it's really, really kind of deadly. And if you've done it, you'll know, you'll resonate with this class and kind of like, yeah, I've been there. So let's do it. Okay, so artificial self-worth is actually a kind of dangerous sense of self-inflation. So I'm going to give you examples of what artificial self-worth is, but we've all done it. We've all tried to just believe in ourselves more. We've all tried to just pump ourselves up, create a new identity, etc., etc. So with our best intentions of being valuable, creating value and feeling valuable, we juice up the worst parts of ourselves accidentally. This is all accidental. Like, we're all doing our best, but trying to act worthy and act valuable is it's really deadly. So what are we going to do about this? Because I've been sitting intimately with people one on one. I was the one on one guy. All I did was one on one. I've just done one on one in this coaching space my whole life. Started in academics, went into business, went back to academics for a little bit, and then went hard into coaching. I didn't have a usual pathway. TC, how many times have you been sitting with someone in a group or one on one? And when you've drilled down and what's the why and what's happening, and you land in this cesspit, all of I just don't feel good enough. How many times does that happen?
That's the script.
That's
You
the
know what I mean?
script, guys.
It's almost the Western approach to personal development. It's
That's
like,
it.
let's get a client to realize that they're not feeling worthy and then begin the
Yep.
steam train of becoming worthy.
So into the chat panel, who's had that insight, that moment of like, oh, that's what it is. I don't feel good enough. What's been your adventures around this thing of worth and not feeling good enough? And what have you done with it? What do you feel about it?
Got a lot of comments saying yes, me, felt it, been there, done
We've all
that.
been there. Yep.
I resonate with Caleb's. The first thing that came to my mind was like, okay, now it's time to go to work. So Caleb wrote, go to work on it.
Yeah.
Uh, George is sharing yes, but then feel worse than ever.
Okay. We all know this territory, right? We all, in our best intentions, go. We feel this thing. It's an epidemic, by the way, in my view, because every single person they find that they feel that's bottom of the barrel. Oh my God, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I've never felt worthy. Holy shit, I need to change it. I'm here to show you that that experience is so ubiquitous and so common that there's something else going on and you can't bloody work on it. We've got the diagnosis wrong. We'll go to the end of the book and then fill it in, but it's a missing piece. There's something missing that needs to be recovered. It's a recovery process. It's not something you can work on. So here's what it kind of looks like. We have this kind of pit. I don't feel good enough. Well, here's what we kind of do. Like we've been told, create the new feeling and change your state. Like you can just create the new feeling, create the valuable feeling, change your state, change your state. You can change your state and feel worthy or whatever. It's just a limiting identity. So it's just your fault. That's your fault, right? That's your identity. You're identifying with it. So change it. We also have, insert a new belief. And I've just put in brackets there, then charge more because it's a really common businessy PD thing. It's like you got to insert a new belief and then you just charge more. You know how dangerous that is for someone who doesn't feel valuable and they're being told to just change it and charge more? Do you know how psychologically dangerous that is for everyone involved? And people go, oh, it feels icky. It doesn't feel good. It just feels like imposter syndrome. Oh yeah, that's just how it's supposed to feel for now. No, no, it's not supposed to feel like that. And you don't just wriggle into it. But something's off. There's massive disharmony, massive disharmony. And the next one is, well, you're creating a lack mentality, so change it. Like you just got to have abundant thoughts. We're all familiar with this, right? We're all familiar with this. We're all familiar with this type of tone and this type of guidance. Okay. Um, it, we're all on board. And then we got the fake it till you make it thing, which is kind of like, um, this is just your kind of history and this is just your parents' stuff. So you've got to kind of just fake it. You've got to put it on and change it in the moment. All of these things are willed into existence. You're trying to will something into existence over this feeling of I don't feel good enough. Has this ever worked? Has this ever worked? No, no, nothing you've tried to ever feel good enough has ever worked. Can we be honest about that? Thank you. Yay. Even when you've got like, here's the crazy thing about this. You can do those things and you will probably produce better results in your life somewhere. That's the weirdest thing about this. You'll probably produce, if you do all those things, you're going to have a positive life change, no doubt. But you're still not going to feel good enough. And in fact, it'll separate you more. So that's the weirdest thing about this is these things will work so superficially that it embeds that even deeper. Now you just feel like a fraud. But you're getting the better results. So shut up and keep going.
And it's hard. It's hard. Nat, is anyone else seeing the theme? The theme here. It can be so hard for people in the PD world too, because so much of it is wrapped up on imposter syndrome, and that's
Yeah.
just the felt experience when you're expanding the comfort zone and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's just next model after
So
next
you're
model after next
someone's
model.
getting in touch with this some disharmony here, and then it's being laid
Mm-hmm.
with no, that's just natural, as opposed
That's
to hang on,
growth. That's
what's going? Yeah,
discomfort. Yeah, exactly. And then what happens is this this kind of like centipede effect where it's like, well, you just got to that the next model and that discomfort, then you use the next model and then you use the next understanding and the next, and you just layer these complex psychological and mental understandings over the top of each other, and you just it's just a mess. So these are all examples of artificial self-inflation, mental self-inflation. It's a mirage. That's why it feels weird in the bottom of your stomach. It feels weird because it's a mental and motivated self-inflation. You're faking it, and we all know it. So why does it create a mirage? Well, this mirage sensation is like, well, my life is going better, but I still feel it. What the is going on? Things are changing around me, but I feel weird. Well, guys, it's because this I don't feel good enough thing is it's a missing spot in the heart. There's a big gaping hole in the heart self, and how it shows up is this feeling of not good enough. And we all can agree it feels like we're not good enough, but the true diagnosis is there's a piece in the heart that's missing. And it kind of leaks this feeling of not good enough. And we just try and plug it and change it and do that and and it doesn't do anything. So when we start from this proposition that there is a piece of the heart missing, then we have a totally different understanding of what this feeling is.
So not just on that,
Yeah.
on behalf of everyone, can you elaborate a little bit more? So are you suggesting
Suggesting a lot, TC.
yeah, you throw out a lot, NH, and I'm gonna pull you up here. So are you saying just to begin with, you got to remove the link and the assumption that
Yep.
this missing piece equals unworthy?
Yeah, yes, you got to pull those two things apart because they're just a manifestation. It's not, yeah, we all can all agree it feels like that, but we've got the feeling and the diagnosis wrong because all that's happening is this missing piece in the heart plus an ego experience equals deficient. Not I'm not worthy or value. I'm having a deficient experience. No matter what I do, my experience is deficient of something. That can only manifest in an outcome-based culture as I'm not good enough. That's the only way it can manifest through the mind. That's the only way. But the true experience is just a generalized deficiency of a sense of value. Nothing feels valuable. Not only you, but your house, your partner, your dog, your job, the grass, the trees. Nothing feels deficient. Nothing feels valuable. So if you spread it out, it's not just you that feels unvaluable. It's all of it feels unvaluable. All of it. Make sense? You go, that's a very different picture then. Okay. All right. So the piece that's missing is essential personal value. It's an aspect of the heart. It's an essential quality. It's filled. This hole is filled with an ache and very painful, difficult emotion. And that's why you run around forever externally trying to fix it and solve it. But where there is supposed to be something called essential personal value, it's not there. And so what it's replaced with is a void and an ache and a pain. Guys, you've all felt unworthy and then gone and changed your life, right? All of you have done that. All of you have felt unworthy and then gone and changed your life. And it made it all better. But what did it do? Nothing. So if your sense of value is not coming from essential personal value, then if you're creating value in these artificial ways, then here's what's bound to happen. That false sense of inflation and value, it's open to breakdown. So it's going to break itself down. You're open to failure. You're really open to really painful criticism, and it can just vanish whenever it wants. So if you've like put on this new identity and you're creating all this value through this new identity, please know that thing can just disappear on you whenever. And if you get challenged or criticized by someone else, it will just rattle the cage so hard, because not only are you being criticized, your false identity is being challenged, but also this hole in the heart is just being poked like a saw. So this is why the whole culture around being valuable and just all that we have is really dangerous, because you're setting yourself up for really, really painful stuff. When you live in essential personal value, when you do hard work and recover this thing, and you are swimming in essential personal value, when you get challenged, you love it, because it goes, yes, please challenge me, please challenge my sense of value, because I know I'm going to get so much out of this. But when it's artificial and you get challenged, it just breaks you down, and you get pissed off and bitey and, you know, whatever. So in summary so far, we have to start with the right diagnosis, which is there's a missing piece in my heart. Everything changes from that position, everything. And you start to realize this epidemic of unworthiness is a crisis of the heart in our entire Western civilization, is an entire crisis of the heart. Okay. This one gets a little bit technical. So any questions before we move on about that so far? Just changing up the starting point of this feeling and understanding it better.
Welcome to the chat panel team. Something
Yeah,
showing you this resonates for sure. How we doing, guys? Jump into the chat panel before we move on. Resonating, yes. No, too much.
it can feel a bit scary, and it can feel like, as I said, you've been kind of ripped off.
Brady shows missing part of the heart resonates. Curious, yes, feel ripped off a bit. Yeah, Tanielle is, when I'm watching the class even now, I'm like, oh, I think back to 2013, sitting in that first coach's office, and I'm like, oh, imagine if we got to the like, oh yeah, I don't feel worthy, and then we went a little deeper. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I created a 15-year career off that, thinking it was the bottom of the barrel, and then
Yeah.
15 years later realized, no, I still feel the same. Just
Yeah.
could have poked a little deeper, just another couple of questions before we went to prove that I'm not worthy. Sorry,
Guys,
prove that I am worthy.
yeah. When you couple this missing piece in the heart with when you start, if you do pathways right, and you go into stage 2, you really start to understand the function of the ego, and you'll come to learn that the ego's experience is insecure 24/7 and not good enough 24/7, because the ego is simply not good enough for this life. It's simply not good enough. Yeah, TC.
Now, is it too subtle of a link, or is the projection of being worthy in the first place, like even projecting and manifesting a mental image of being worthy,
Yeah.
does that tie into subtly like narcissistic fantasy space?
Yeah. Well, yes. That's all it can do. It's all it can do, because it's manufactured. And when it's manufactured, it's unhooked from the truth of things. So it kind of just hurts people and yourself.
Could you just
But
give a really quick description on
well,
manufactured narcissistic fantasy
Tommy,
space?
you're psychic. This is the next slide. So sure, we're linked up again.
Shit, we're doing that thing
We're
again.
doing that thing again. Um, yeah. So let's do it. Self-inflation. When you have to like turn on the value stuff, when you have to wake up in the morning and go, I've got to be that valuable thing again. You just got to turn it on. You change things in the background. You can't insert stuff like that without disrupting other things. So there's a scale between self-inflation and fragility. You actually become more fragile as a person the more you inflate. The more you have to try things on and try beliefs on, you become more fragile. You don't become more robust. So in the heart, you become strong as fucking steel. Right? You face anything. In self-inflation, you've got to hold it all together, so you become really fragile. It's literally a 1-for-1. So in artificial value creation, you set you you set things off, you set things down a different way. The first thing is you increase mental noise. So you increase your mental noise when you have to fake value. You have stronger reactivity because you have to reinforce yourself over and over and over, which means things that do not reinforce you will hit you harder. You have a negative bias. You become biased towards things that are negative because you're trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to be valuable. So this massive bias pops up of everything. Everything then tries to prove that you're not. Everything starts to literally turn against you. You have psychic repulsion, which is, we've got a slide on that. You basically, I mean, to thin slice it, you just push people away. And you all known that when you're doing the fake thing and the identity thing and the whatever, you just push people away. And lastly, when you push it really hard and you've really kind of, the apple's fallen pretty far from the tree, then the self collapses. The whole manufactured thing that you've created that's supposed to be really valuable it just falls out of its ass, just collapses. And this is what Tommy said before. You have to create a false space to try and do this artificial value thing. And so this is the background things you have to cop in reaction to faking it or to just inserting value or whatever.
And jump into the chat panel, guys. Like, who's either
Are
felt
we
this,
okay? Are we
experienced
okay?
this, or doing it at the moment? Is anybody is it just me, or is anybody else like grabbing onto experiences at the moment, or like, oh, that person or that place, shit, I am artificially creating value, and I know that because I'm so fragile, and I need
Yeah.
to remove myself from them even more. Isn't that a weird thing? You do more work on yourself, and therefore you have to remove yourself further away from people that are
Yeah.
apparently dysfunctional. That's
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it, to look at it like that?
Are we all together? Are we all okay? We're doing this together, team. Come on, brides.
Resonating being the mental noise gang.
Mental noise gang. That's
I think that's Jake. Jake's leading the charge for the mental noise group.
mental noise gang. MNG.
Yeah. Don't make me do my impersonation of heavy metal again, Jake.
We do some heavy stuff here, and then we keep it real light because we got answers too. We got answers, and they're swift. Okay, so opposing this, guys, in the other, I'm just going to drop us down into the heart space really quickly. Is you also get this really, really nice relationship between essential strength and essential personal value. Check this out, right? It's kind of really beautiful. To face that hole in the heart, you just got to be strong. You just got to be strong. That's it. Just got to be strong. Face it, feel it. Don't try and change it. There's some junk in there, cool. If you do the strong bit, you get the value piece immediately. Like, you don't have to try and chase the value. You just do the strong bit. And then the essential strength, the whole going into that and finding that little missing piece and investigating it with inquiry, it starts to fill itself in. Now, this is where the world and all of its knowledge and us, our psychological understanding, our inside understanding is only 140 years old. In the way we're babies, and it's all been based on outcome. So when you have these world traditions saying you are the value, it's all inside of you, you just got to be it, and you there's nothing to do, you are value, blah 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 blah, and all that jazz, they're correct. But what they meant, that what they don't understand is the fact that we live in a broken-hearted culture. So when we look inside, it's just terrible. And so
So savage, NH.
I know, but it's true. But it's true. And when you do the courageous work, we have to be strong on the inside. We're not just going to look on the inside and find roses and butterflies and jewels. When we look inside of our psyche, it's a mess. So we have to be strong, essentially strong. We have to be strong on our inside worlds and pray for strength strength, 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 and courage, not value and love and peace. We ain't there yet. Okay.
Here's a question for you, Nat. On
Yes.
that
Yo.
is the because I'm only really recalling on my own experience here. Is the artificial value creation and pushing it so far that it leads to the image collapsing, aka mental health breakdown? Like,
Yep.
is that universally required and part of the picture, or is that is that a personal experience and gateway to recovering essential
Yeah.
personal value?
Depends on um depends on a couple of things. If you're kind of a like diehard personal development fan, and I was, you will normally put yourself in some kind of mental breakdown because you'll just turn up the thinking space so far that it just muddies the water, and you'll go through some kind of reset, some kind of reset. So the there is a strong relationship between the more time you spend in personal development, you're getting closer and closer to a mental breakdown because everything is about more mental stuff. If you are like, let's say let's say Jake got him young, grabbed him young, didn't have to rattle him too much before he started to receive influence and went, all right, I'll listen. And now the heart's just now he just lives in there and can sit and do 3 hour inquiries. How old are you, Jake? Like 13 or something? Uh, but so it's two things. Are you ready to receive influence in a new way? And can you see the truth of your own experience and accept that and go, yeah, this isn't really working. If you're stubborn, you'll have a breakdown. That's like me. If you're stubborn, you'll just push it all the way.
The perfect example, Nat, would be the there's a big bus always about to run me over. Would be the TC personal development journey, and it wasn't until 14 years in and getting interviewed on live TV, which is like the pinnacle of like, look at
Oh,
this
that
kid, how valuable he is.
wasn't that a journey we went on, TC?
I'm like, I don't get it. They're interviewing me on live TV,
Yeah.
one of the biggest news networks ever, saying, "Oh my god, you've helped 3,000 people change their lives," and blah blah. And I'm rattled the whole time. But
I
it
got the
took,
call 24 hours before the interview, and he's just like like this. What do I do? What do I
yeah,
do?
and it took that team, it took that artificial value creation in a culturally appropriate way, which is also mixed in with the lack of cultural detoxing. Like, you're literally hitting the pinnacle.
Yeah,
Like
tell me hit the
we
pinnacle.
started the class on you feel let down. That was it for me. Of like, I'm ticking every fucking box. I can't tick any more boxes. Why is that essential personal value still not there? Like, yeah,
Somebody's being
it's a,
interviewed as the kind of non-traditional addiction expert in the country, and he calls me after a Channel 10 or a 9, I can't remember which one, interview, and he's like, I feel nothing. I feel nothing.
yeah. 6 months later, we closed the business.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But a perfect example for the right hand corner of the screen, the fragility as the artificial vape.
Fragile. Fragile, guys. You become fragile. Okay. Please don't believe I'm sitting here like some kind of, got it all figured out. This was me breaking down over and over and going, something's not working. Okay. So when you have this kind of, how good is that animation? Let's do it again. When artificial self-worth encircles a broken heart, because that's what we're talking about here, is you insert, it's good night, say, Bryce. You have a contradiction. You put yourself in a contradiction between heart and mind. You put yourself in a contradiction over and over and over. This creates a thing called psychic repulsion, and we all know what I'm talking about. When you're faking it till you make it and you're feeling great, then people get repelled, right? Surely you've felt this. You know what I'm talking about. All your people that's doing the same thing will get around you, but all your people in your kind of natural life, just do this. So this is when you have businesses, right? Business people that are trying to fake it till they make it. They're trying to do this value thing, and their potential customers are buying and just getting pushed away, so they try harder. and they put the bigger smile on and the big and the more and they're just working themselves to the bone in mental work. And the contradiction between heart and mind just pushes people away, because the psychic message is there's a contradiction here. Can we discuss this? I mean, I think I did. It's pretty self-explanatory. Yes, no. Are we all doing okay? Are we all doing okay? I'd like some comments on this. Just a yes, felt it, understand.
It's so easy just to extend the length of the landing page now with more things.
Right. Yeah. I get it. I never had landing pages. I couldn't do that.
Like, they're just longer pictures
Yeah.
and bigger lead generation times. And they
Yeah.
don't like us today, but give it 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, and we, guys, you get the exact opposite response. When you close this contradiction down, look at that little achy spot in the heart and get into it, everyone just gets around you, right? If we can create a thing to push people away, if we get it right, don't you think the opposite would happen? And the answer is yes. Every single time, with every single person we work with, when we get it right and we really peel away the stuff around people's essential personal value, it's just a giant magnet. And then we have a difficult problem, which is like everyone wants to talk to me. Questions? Questions? Anything?
Yeah, got a couple of comments. Soft and more open. Georgie sharing, I love that you guys are helping me understand my aversion to the coaching community in general.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, Jordan. It's a huge contradiction. That's exactly what it is. Trust that. Tommy and I always had some really cracker conversations, because Tommy's like traditional coaching pathway, and I was not at all. I didn't even really know there was a coaching like thing, like a industry. I was just kind of like doing my own thing, and then it was we had some things Tommy would say like, what are you saying? What is that? And Tommy's like, oh, that's like a coaching thing. Oh,
All the time.
yeah,
You were just a
rogue.
not yeah rogue psychologist that was outlied and outlawed probably would be
Yeah,
a better,
literally,
better term. Like,
literally.
he shall
Yeah,
never work in our field. That man's a nut.
yeah,
We do have a question.
yeah.
Daniel's asked, what is it when you are the one moving away?
When you're the one moving away, yeah, something in you is just going, I just want truth over anything. I want something real. This isn't real. And you won't even know what or why, but there's a, guys, our heart is a transistor of truth and falsehood. The heart space is really simple and really complex, but here's the simple version of the heart space. It knows what's true and it knows what's false. Fundamentally, not just for you as a whole. It only does true and false. Now you have free will to override that with this thing whenever you want. So when the heart goes false, you can go, oh no, but it's true because of da, 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 da. And the heart can go, that's true. And you go, nope, no, it's not, because I don't want it that way. So when you start to move away from something like that, you're being, I need it to be more true. I need it to be more true. And then you can, you start to, yeah. Okay, this is how this false inflation can actually enhance your worst self. You can get your worst bits and really turbocharge them. I think this is the last slide. So your mental self-image is a direct function of the ego. So as I said, in pathways, you will learn a lot of technical understanding about the function of the thing called the ego. One of them, what it does is it creates mental self-images. So in the conscious mind, when you're doing this inflation stuff, you're inflating the self-image, you're pumping it up, acting as if, creating a new identity. We've been here before, forcing abundant thoughts, affirming your value, etc. By doing this, right, turning on new behaviors, you can just turn on new behaviors by force. Now, again, we inflate, look at that, we inflate this thing. We inflate the mental side, like a Prata. And so initially, this feels really good. Inflation initially feels really good. But can we all agree? Yeah, it does. You're like, oh fuck, this is it. This feels really great. There's an unconscious side of the ego too. And when you're not conscious of it, when you inflate the ego, you have to inflate the whole thing. So what you also inflate at the same time is self-preservation. Your survival mode turns on more. Your insecurities turn up more. Your greed and desire turns up and inflates. Your fear inflates. And you feel you need more reciprocity. This is a weird one that Tommy and I discussed privately. When you do this pumping up your self-worth, you then expect other people just to give back to you like you were given to them. You just expect reciprocity.
Can I share that? Like, guys,
Please.
because there's a fair few in the. Did anybody notice this? Because it really hit me, and it sat with me for months, just kind of ruminating on it, like in awe of the self-worth journey for me. Developed an experience of like, cool, so I'm worthy, and then everything kind of became a values exchange.
Yeah.
Like everything had to be like equal value. And I noticed it when I was like really good mates with someone in the community that I was in. Like we were tight. So in my experience, we had a tight, cool, personal relationship. And it hit me when we were having a chat and he was picking my brain and then I started picking his brain. And then something happened, he kind of paused. And it was this weird moment I've always remembered. And he goes, oh, look, we're kind of dabbling now in what I do professionally.
Uh,
And I was like, yep. He's like, so we probably want to reserve some time for that. And the like, doesn't need to be a price. Maybe just you could. It just got so icky, and I was like, what just happened? And then I started seeing it, and I saw it in myself, and I was like, there came a time during the process where there was kind of a disconnection between being essentially valuable void of expectation, return, gain, achievement, get something back. And I just noticed that. And I'm wondering if anyone else has felt that or noticed it or seen it or been in it themselves. It was really humbling for me, like it was, because I noticed it, in him, but then noticed it in myself. And I was like,
yeah,
yeah,
let's
all of a
chat.
sudden, all of a sudden, it could be a financial thing with potential clients, like cool, as Nat said earlier, I'm like, cool, so I'm worth more now, so I'm going to charge more. Or it could just be a personal thing with family, like, oh, well, I've been really nice to you, so you have to be nice for 24 hours now, and then get upset when they're not. Everything became a values exchange on an weird equal level, which was just bizarre. Jump into the chat panel and say,
Mm.
no, you're the only one, you've lost your mind. Or, I mean, no, because the chat's gone quiet.
Go into the chat, guys.
It
I
Jake
don't know.
Shang, it seems to be one of those people only get it once. They have the strength and maturity to have it. Caleb Shang, definitely in the love space, got to receive something back from giving. Yep. Danielle,
Yeah.
thanks, Danielle. I was sitting here in my void of insecurity, and she's like, "You're not alone." Yes. Thanks, Ma.
Uh,
The Ma I never had.
yeah. TC, take over. I'm checking out for a minute.
I've rattled NH with my fucking stories and examples from the coaching space. Is that enough? Sammy Shang, so true. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's such a fascinating experience to watch.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what we do to ourselves essentially. It's kind of really contradictory and it doesn't really solve the problem because it inflates our sense of self, but it turns on all these things in the background, and we feel more fragile and we get more needy. That's the truth of the damn thing. We get more fragile and we get more needy and more self-righteous, which is a huge problem too. Okay, this is just not a problem you experience. Essential personal value, it's quite the opposite, right? It's so opposite, it's kind of scary. Essential personal value is extremely robust. It only gets stronger with time, and you don't give a shit about reciprocity. You really don't. An essential personal value, it's take my value. Don't even care. Don't say thank you. Just keep taking it. Please just keep taking it. The reciprocity is so not even a thing. You don't even need to ask the question of like, am I expecting something back or should they say thank you? It's because it's so essentially you, there is no need. And because the heart space is very strange, when you give your essential personal value, it feels like you're bloody receiving anyway. That's why the reciprocity thing just goes. Okay. That's the last slide. So if you struggle with the sense of worth, right, there's a missing piece that needs to be recovered. That is the answer, guys. It's the answer. It's not just me and Tommy and Brady. Like this is the answer for everyone who finds it. They go, oh yeah, holy shit. And it's so obvious when you do the work to recover it. It does take work, takes strength, because there's some achy, ouchy stuff in there. When the presence of essential personal value, it's an alive presence. When that alive presence reveals itself to your consciousness, you go, oh my God. Oh, it's that obvious. It's self-evident. It hits you in the face. And if you're not having that experience of your value, then it's not the real thing. It's manufactured.
And so, Matt, what did you said there? That seems like a really big theme of today. It's a recovery process, not a
Recover
recreation or a creating
the
process.
recovery process, and it begins with strength and confrontation, and you keep and you head down, bum up, right? You get to work. You head down, bum up in some achy, ouchy stuff. Uh, yeah, so it's not something to be overcome or changed. It's all this stuff is a voice of the hole in the heart. All of the unworthy chat, that's the voice of a hole in the heart. And in that hole is ouchy stuff, void spaces, difficulty, which requires strength and courage. Strength and courage. The heart space is just strength and courage over and over and over. Cool. Yeah. I think that's going to be, I think a lot of people eventually will watch this. It's a good one. I think it's
I
going to
love
be,
how you threw in the word eventually. That just made it for me. Just the subtle, like, eventually, you know what you just
guys,
know.
we're a charity case, by the way, guys. We're an absolute fucking charity case over here. We work so hard for nothing.
Oh, God. Georgie just shared, which I love, that reciprocity thing. I've come to
Yeah.
see it as such a prison for me. I've been real
Yes.
sneaky around it.
Guys, there is this thing that happens in somewhere in our collection. There's a set of value structures, and there's a value structure called green, and these are how people's values changes. When people hit green, it's like they've done the achievement thing and they get really sensitive and really humanitarian and really kind of caring. And then every time they get stuck in this reciprocity, like I'm giving this to you and then you got to give this back to me. And it's like there's a massive ceiling in development on reciprocity. It's a really tricky thing to overcome because when you're in ego stuff and self-inflation, you secretly want something back all the time, secretly want it back all the time. And you won't give unless you can kind of find an angle on how it's going to come back. The heart thing, essential personal value, solves the reciprocity problem fully.
It's also so draining because in order to do the reciprocity thing, you have to be keeping score.
You got to be keeping
Your
score somewhere.
psyche has to
You
be
have to
keeping
be.
score.
You
How
can't.
many
Yep.
hours? How many hours have I put in? How many nice things have I said to you before I heard something back? How many times have I forgiven,
Yeah.
but you haven't forgiven? How many times have I
That's
apologized,
it.
even though I thought I was right? When it's just a keeping score thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, and you try and make yourself believe you're not keeping score until something gets hard and heavy, and your repression stops, and well, what about this, and you've got it all loaded up there. Well, didn't know we were keeping score now, did we?
how do we do, team? Jump into the
Yeah.
chat. Bang your class, NH. Slide deck on point.
Slide deck on point.
No tech issues today. Big win.
Yeah, look at us go. Yeah, that's what a divorce will do to you. Okay, okay. I'm not divorced.
Georgie, yeah, love it. Some people, that one's hitting home for some people, that last bit there. Ouch. Oh, fuck, that hit home for Sammy. Really good.
Yeah,
Animations were on fire. Love
let's go. Let's go. Animations.
it. Clint Shed, thanks for the laughs. Yeah, you get a
Clint,
bit of everything when you come here. You get a
bit of
bit of
everything.
everything.
Bit of everything. Clint, get your ass, mate. You don't know Pathways yet, Clint. You were here before Pathways even existed. So please talk to us because Pathways is a whole new thing. It's the step, like we've got this thing stepped out now on off mind, into heart fully, and all the steps along the way. So, Clint, please talk to us.
Again, Cal, great to have you here.
Hey, Clint, I'm going to send you our bridging course, okay, for nothing. It's um it's a 7 video class. If you like that, then you'll know what we're talking about. I'm just going to send it to you. Cool.
You've got those details now to do that?
I'll track Clint down
Oh,
somewhere. He's
great.
on here somewhere. Yeah. Unless you can do it now. Can you? Oh no, we need the link.
Cal, let us know if you want that. I can just see a comment here saying lead with the heart. Yeah, beautiful.
Cal, yeah, mate.
Oh,
If you want our bridging course, yeah, I'm in a generous mood. If you want our bridging course, take it for nothing. If you're interested in what we're doing here, the bridging course is just like an entry course into heart stuff. That's all it is. Just a really soft entry into understanding some heart stuff and how you can basically start. So, would you be interested in that if we send it over?
drop it in the chat and let us know. Oh, wait, I got your video here. Were they jazz hands? Like, yay. Yeah, yeah. Good. Yeah, love it. Love it.
All right.
Amazing. Um, all right, fantastic, guys. Cal, can you hit Nat or I up on Facebook with your email address and we'll send it over to you if that's possible? Or just reply to any of these emails that you're getting for this class with your, let me know it's you and I'll send it over. All right, team, that'll wrap us up. Have an epic day. See you next month, first Thursday.
Bye.
Bye for now.